Hello everyone, welcome back to Home and Creativity with Monique. Thank you guys for tuning back in for another video. I will be sharing a easy white bread recipe with you guys today. I hope you guys enjoy the video. This will be my first time making bread from scratch, so stay tuned. I'm going to first share the wet ingredients. So for your wet ingredients, you will need 1 1/2 cups of warm water, a half stick of unsalted butter, and a half cup of milk. If you would like to, you can warm these ingredients up in a saucepan on the stove, or you can warm this up in the microwave. You only want to warm this up when you see light steam to allow the butter to melt. And once it's done, the temperature should be between 120 and 125. Okay, time for the yeast mixture. So you're going to need 3 tablespoons of sugar, 1 tablespoon of salt, and 1 tablespoon of fast rising instant yeast. And you're just going to combine all of that in a bowl, and you're just going to mix all that together until everything is combined. Lastly, you will need 5 1/2 cups of bread flour or all-purpose flour. I will be making a couple of loaves of bread today, so I'm just going to show you the loaf pans that I have. I will be using a longer loaf pan, which is 13 by 5. And I will be using the regular standard size loaf pan, which is a 9 by 5. This recipe that I'm making, it calls for 2 9 by 5 loaf pans, because you will be able to make 2 loaves of bread off of this recipe. You want to go ahead and you can either use butter to grease your loaf pans with, or you can use a non-stick cooking spray, as I'm using here for your loaf pans as well. And I like to go ahead and spray my loaf pans down so that I can have this step out of the way, and it'll just make things move along much easier. You will also need a large bowl for your dough to proof in once you get through with your mixing and kneading your dough. And I'm also spraying that with some non-stick cooking spray as well. Time to make the bread. So first, I'm going to start with maybe about 2 cups of the bread flour or all-purpose flour, and I'm just going to add in all the dry ingredients. So that's going to be some of the flour, and then I'm going to add in the yeast mixture. And remember, the yeast mixture is it has the yeast, the sugar, and the salt. So I'm just going to pour all of that in, and I'm just going to give that a good mix. And following after that, then we're going to add the wet ingredients, which is the water, milk, and butter mixture. And we're just going to mix all of that up until it looks like a pancake consistency, just to get things nice and moist and to make sure that it looks like a batter. You don't have to whip this, just mix it. And from there, I'm going to add in my flour as my machine mixed the dough. I'm just going to add in my flour a little bit at a time until everything is combined and everything turns into a dough. Now, you can do this with your hands. You don't need a mixer to do this. Just know if when you're making bread that it can be a lot of work on your hands when you have to do a lot of mixing, and also that you may have to do a lot of kneading. So once you're done adding in all the flour, you will be kneading your dough for 5 to 8 minutes. So the dough is done kneading. So now it's time to make your dough into a ball. So basically, you're just going to kind of knead your dough into like a ball shape, and you're going to do like a roll and tuck underneath. And after then, you're going to place your ball of dough inside of your greased bowl, and you're going to cover your bowl with plastic wrap, or you can use a warm towel to lay on top. And you're going to have to do this step so that your dough can proof. It needs to rest after it's been kneading, and this will ensure that your bread will rise like it should. So the dough has proof for about an hour. So now I'm going to take my dough and I'm going to take it out of the bowl and put it on a floured surface. And from here, you don't have to knead again or anything. So you're going to put your dough on a floured surface, and then you're going to take a pastry cutter or a knife and cut it right down the middle. So when I mentioned earlier in the video that the recipe makes 2 loaves of bread, this is what I meant. So once you cut the dough in half, then you have 2 separate loaves of bread. So from here, I'm going to do the roll and tuck method again. You also want to make sure you stretch it into a rectangle shape long enough that it will fit inside of your loaf pans. So these 2 loaves will be going inside of the standard size loaf pan, which is the 9x5. As you can see here, like I stated before, it's my first time making the bread, so I may not have the correct technique when it comes to the roll and tuck, but I will continue to try to make bread, and just with anything, it's going to take more than one time to learn how to perfect things. So I don't beat myself up over anything if it didn't turn out right the first time. I mean, basically you just have to learn from your mistakes and try it again. So this is another dough, same recipe, except I had to cut maybe a quarter of the dough off of one of my halves, and I just added it all into this dough to make a longer dough. And this is going to be for my 13x5 loaf pan. So I'm just trying my best to do the tuck underneath method and everything, and that is very important, because I found out later if you don't do that technique correctly, then your bread can bake. It'll look a little funny underneath if you don't do the roll and tuck method correct. But I am working on to correct that, because from here on out I plan to make my bread instead of buying it from the store, and it'll be much healthier, less ingredients, and you know what you're putting in your own food. So I know I talked through all the other processes, but basically you're going to let your dough rise in your loaf pans, and then you're going to get ready to bake them at 375 for about 30 to 35 minutes. And this is the result. It looks very beautiful and golden brown, and also just the fresh bread scent in your home. It smells very scrumptious. So I'm just going to just show you guys a close-up. Now the only thing that I wished happened with my bread was that it had more rise, and maybe I should have let my bread rise a little bit longer than an hour, is what I'm thinking. But it still came out fine. It still came out airy, light, and fluffy. I mean, I can still use it for sandwiches. But like I said, the only thing about my bread is that I wish it was a little bit taller or higher. But I can give myself a pat on the back, because I did good for the first time making bread. So I can only get better from here. So I'm just showing you guys the texture of the bread, and it is soft and fluffy. So I think I did pretty good for my first time. What do you guys think? The next question would be, how would you store your freshly baked bread? So your bread can be stored in airtight plastic containers, Ziploc bags, or plastic made for bread keeping. So different bread stores at different times before they go bad. But see, since this bread doesn't have any preservatives, it will more than likely go bad in a few days. So to slow down the production of mold or anything, you may want to store this in the refrigerator if you're not going to eat it quickly. And I have a couple of loaves of bread that I don't plan on eating very quickly, so I will make sure that I put these in the plastic bags that I gotten from Walmart, and it is made for bread. So I'm going to just double bag those in the bags, and also I'm going to place each loaf inside of a freezer bag. So I will be freezing some of this bread as well. This completes the end of my vlog. I hope you guys enjoyed making bread with me today. Once again, just thank you guys for tuning in as always. And also, if you're a new subscriber, thank you guys for subscribing to the channel. Welcome. I hope you guys enjoy what I have to offer on this channel. And also thank you for all existing subscribers for coming back and watching as well. I hope to see you guys back for another video. You guys have a very blessed and great day, and God bless.